Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us. Again, as a reminder, I find it sad that the standards for Master Xinhua's materials is so low, and especially the people who do the translation, or even the woman who made the announcement in Chinese for his tapes. Samadhi level is too low. In Buddhism, our path is of substance. I want to remind you that we're not attached to marks. If you practice the Mahayana, American Mahayana, it's to build your Samadhi power, okay? And it will naturally develop. If you hang in there long enough, you will all naturally improve. Because if you don't, you really have no interest in improving, you probably will take yourself out. Okay? So, whether you do ceremony, whether you do a little bit of announcements, or you do translation, if you're really serious about it, your Kung Fu will naturally improve. This is my personal hope. Okay? It's most visible for me is when I join you and do ceremonies. I watch, pay attention to the people who conduct ceremonies and see whether they're improving or not. The translations, I see if people improve or not. Okay? That's what we're about. And the standards is just too low over there. I disapprove. You should do better than that. We should do better than that. Okay? Because my master's Dharma deserves the best, not these people who happen to do it because the key personnel are too busy chasing after something more important. I can't think of anything they can do that's more important than propagating Master Xinhua's Dharma. This is the most important thing, the most significant thing they can do with their lives. What are they doing, relegating it to people who really are not qualified in translating, in interpreting Master Xinhua's Dharma and publishing it online? When Master Xinhua was alive, these people were hiding. They had no voice. Now he's gone. Idiots are the loudest. Whereas the people who really have a little bit of wisdom, because they're chickens or cowards, they don't dare say anything. The job of a spiritual leader or of a spiritual cultivator is to speak the truth, no matter how unpopular it is. Especially when it pertains to the Dharma. Okay? Yes, I apologize to you for venturing into areas I don't have no business venturing into, like color orange. You don't want to know what color orange is? After all the years we spent together, you still don't know I hate orange, especially when it's painted on someone's face. Never mind, okay, I take it back. So anyway, I hope you maintain the standards because there's no excuse whether you do. Again, I am proud of the fact our ceremonies are getting better. Yes, the people who are being trained are naturally getting better. Okay? If you're not good enough, don't impose yourself upon us. Okay? All right. It's a spirit. what else is more important than yourself improving, becoming a better person, and making a difference in your own lives and others around you? Ordinary people, they chase after externals, money, fame, profits, self-indulgence. It's not, they don't end well. Let me put it that way for you. You don't believe me, but when they die, they're very unhappy. They're very terrified, not knowing what's going to happen to them. All they work for their entire lives are in vain. And those have enough blessings who have to come to us for help. And I remember those of you who stabbed me in the back. Don't expect me to help you, because I don't forget, I don't forgive. Oh, never mind. Just kidding. My God, I'm just being manic, that's all. Yeah? Don't provoke my manic side. You'll be sorry. Okay. All right. Where are we today? We're continuing the discussion. Unless you have questions, we're continuing discussing Master Shirano's Dharma talk. And it's GuanYin Qi here. We're on slide 150, yes 5.
Master, I noticed on the tape last night that it didn't sound like a tape. The sound, the hissing sound. Is there something that was done to the tapes?
Hissing sound.
The cassette sound that I like, to be honest with you.
I have no idea what has been done to the tapes. I listened to the tapes originally. I was given cassettes, and then I bought like 1,000 cassettes to copy them. Okay, various types of dharmas from different masters. So that's why I learned from cassette tapes. And what we hear is MP3 files. I don't know where they came from. Were they transferred from cassettes to MP3 files by them disciples or what? Yes, 3.
Thank you, Master. I don't know who did the post-processing on these recordings, but I had attempted, Malcolm, to clean up some of the recordings in previous Qis, and it was very difficult.
Very difficult?
I would say yes, very difficult. So whoever has cleaned these up has done a... Did I do this? Oh my gosh. Really? Okay, I forgot. It's really hard.
Really hard? Even, have you tried AI nowadays? The AI not going to work with soundtracks.
Yeah.
It should be very, very fast.
This was all done manually.
Yeah, it's very fast nowadays. Yeah, it's worth it. I'm considering subscribing to ChatGPT myself because I have research. I'm doing research, and Okay, try ChatGPT to clean up the files. Should be very fast. All right, we'll try that. How's that? Thank you for pointing it out. Okay, JC.
Amitabha Master, thank you for you. I have one question.
Okay.
제가 한 5년 전에 길거리를 가다가 교통사고를 한번 만났었어요. 제가 정규로 가고 있는데 어떤 여자분이 불법으로 좌회전을 들어오면서 저하고 정면 충돌을 했거든요. 그래서 보험사에서는 합의를 해라. 나는 억울하다. 그래서 이제 2심까지 가서 제가 일단은 책임을 면했는데 그런 유사한 경우가 이제 상대방이 정상적인 운전을 안 하고 사고를 냈는데도 이 쌍방이 책임을 져야 되는 이런 이제 일반적인 이제 사회 교통 그 규범이 있어요. 요거하고 관련해서 제가 이제 지금 관음칠 3일 참석했는데 그 본문 중에 이런 항목이 있었습니다. 중죄를 져서 쇠고랑이를 찾는데 관세음보살을 염하면 그 쇠고랑이 저절로 끊어져서 이제 면제가 된다는 거죠. 이걸 보고 저는 이제 법치를 상당히 중요시하기 때문에 사회 질서를 위해서 법을 어긴 사람은 어느 정도의 소정의 벌을 받아야 사회 질서가 유지돼서 선한 사람들이 생활하기 편하지 않겠느냐 이런 생각을 가지고 있는데 이건 어떻게 제가 잘못된 생각인지 좀 가르쳐 주십시오.
Hi, Master. Amitofo. I just have a story about, it happened about 5 years ago. I was in a car on a street, and a female driver hit me directly. She was making left turn illegally, and then hit directly to my car. And unfortunately, there is a rule that in this case, both parties are responsible about the collisions. And fortunately, I was able to, we had an insurance, and then we went into the judgment by the court, and I was barely able to escape the responsibility. So changing the subject, but similar to that, I was cleaning, and I just was thinking about one of the things that we're reading today. There was a heavy crime by GuanYin Bodhisattva. If you have a heavy crime, and if you call the GuanYin's name, that she'll be able to break the metal chain and then set free. So my question is, if someone committed a heavy crime, there is a social orders, and someone committed a heavy crime should be paying for the result. So how the good people can live peacefully when someone's committed a crime and they're set for free. Would you explain about this a little bit? Thank you.
Okay, that's a good question. It sounds like if I could paraphrase it, am I allowed to paraphrase it? So if you commit a serious crime and then you pray to GuanYin and GuanYin saves you, it seems unfair. That's the nature of his question. Am I correct?
안 들립니다. 한 번 더 말. 그냥 말하세요. 그냥.
예.
Okay, very good. I agree with you. It seems unfair that people can get away with committing crimes and hurting others. All right? But let me give you one example of why it's acceptable. For example, this happened to many Buddhist stories of the sages and disciples of the Buddhas, where, for example, person A walks on the street, and person B comes along and makes mistakes and kills person A. Okay, and typically that for that killing offense, you're supposed to die according to the king's laws. Okay, and if person B prays to GuanYin, and all of a sudden, with GuanYin, based on the GuanYin's sutras and scriptures, this person B can be liberated from the jails and run away. Okay, it seems unfair. Okay, that person B gets away with a crime. And what you are observing are just superficial manifestations. Okay, for example, if it were the case that person A in a prior life killed person B without good reason, so now he's being killed by person B as a debt repayment, as a debt settlement. Okay, so that the debt now becomes zero. Okay? All done between A and B. But under the eyes of the law, B still committed a crime. All right? If person B happened to believe in GuanYin Bodhisattva and had a lot of blessings of GuanYin Bodhisattva, so he prayed to GuanYin Bodhisattva, he got help. In a way, it makes sense because it's just a debt settlement. The law has no business getting in between them from a Buddhist perspective. Then it makes sense to me. Do you agree? So on the surface, it seems unfair, it seems arbitrary, but actually there's always underneath there's reasons for that. Okay? So what you don't realize, for example, another aspect of it is that maybe person B had since he was killed by A, he was very vengeful and he cultivated GuanYin's Dharma door and so forth. So he planted a lot of blessings in GuanYin Bodhisattva. So that's why he deserved to be saved by GuanYin Bodhisattva's Dharma door. You see, the law of cause and effect is very, very, has multi-layered. It's very difficult for us to see the complete, have the complete picture, the full picture. So that's why the simple answer to your question is, you're right. Life is not fair. Don't get afflicted. And when you try to explain everything, then, it's just not very good use of our time to try to understand everything. It's not about fairness. It's not about justice, okay? It's for ordinary people, for the weak who need that to live. But for us to cultivate, what is it about? Anyone? Yes, 8.
Dạ, thưa thầy, tu hành là để chuyển đổi cái luật nhân quả, cái nhân quả của mình.
Okay, cause and effect. Yes. 3.
According with conditions, Master.
According to conditions. Anyone else? 2.
Recognizing our afflictions.
Recognize our afflictions. To do what?
To see their empty nature.
See the empty nature. Exactly. The question he asked is predicated upon it's unfair. That's why I paraphrase it for his sake. You basically are telling me that's unfair, that GuanYin helps people get away with it. Right? So what I didn't spell out for him is that he got afflicted. If people hear that story, non-Buddhist people hear that story, they say, GuanYin is so unfair. Master is so unfair. This is not right. If you're not cultivating, I understand. I will apologize to you. But if you're cultivating with me for a long time now, look at you, say, Master is unfair, one is unfair. Look at you, say, you're right. You get afflicted. You deserve it. Your affliction is justified. Okay? I'm on your side. Die if you want to from your affliction, for all I care. After years of cultivating with me, you still don't get it? Good question. Okay? Well, you knew, that's why I explained to you. If you are been with me for some time, I would simply say, you're right. Life is so unfair. One year is so unfair. Oh, darn it. Sometimes she's so unfair. You're so right. We should be afflicted. Let's go have a drink together. Jesus. Sit straight. There's a compartment when you sit straight, like a bell. This is someone who's scheming for something. If you're tired, I forgive you. But if you're like this, typically because something up here. Anyone else? That's why I look at you. When you're scheming, I see it right away. I don't say anything. I've been looking at you, and now, because you're ready, sit straight. Not lean like this, not lean like this. Straight like a bell. All right. Go back to slide 150. We went through the soundtracks already. Master Xianhua is explaining that GuanYin Bodhisattva looks at us as her brothers, not sisters, by the way. She only likes brothers or relatives. And what she does is sit all day and too much look at the sounds of the world. And when she hears people calling out for help, she would rush over to help them out. Okay? And Master Xianhua said that's the case because she looks at us as her brothers. I mean, no, she doesn't. He says that we are like her brothers. Okay, he's trying to explain it to the Westerners who were there in his assembly, that to help them understand why GuanYin would do that is that they could look at her, they could see it as she considers them to be her brothers, her relatives, and it's very un-Chinese to put it that way. Okay, we Asians don't dare think of GuanYin Bodhisattvas as our brothers, as our relative. It is totally anti-Asian. Agree or disagree? Yes, sir, too.
I kind of disagree because Asian culture seems really family-oriented. And his idea was like, if your brother was in another country or something, he's like gonna miss you, so he's gonna think fondly of you. That might be more so than like here in America, where families, as you mentioned, sometimes aren't as united.
I forgive you because you're not Asian. But you can't talk like that to us Asians. Do not put words in our mouth, our Asian mouths. Yes, YouTube.
김성배님의 질문입니다. 아미타불 연부를 10여 년 전부터 해왔습니다. 집에서나 거리에서나 생각날 때마다 마음속으로 아미타불 합니다. 저녁에 자다가 꿈에 깰 때도 아미타불 하면서 다시 잠듭니다. 즉 아미타불을 생활 속에서 활성화하려 노력합니다. 그래서 절에서도 자주 대화 중에나 서로 간의 인사 중에도 아미타불 하고 말하는데 듣는 상대방은 제가 장난으로 하는 줄 알고 웃어버립니다. 저는 진지하게 인사로 아미타불 하는데 상대방은 예불 중에만 아미타불 하고 평소에 하는 인사로 하는 것은 아니라고 생각하는 것 같습니다. 평소에도 자주 아미타불 하는 제가 잘못하는 건가요?
Master, this question is from Kim Sung-bae. Master, I've been reciting Amitofo for 10 years. I try to recite him or think about Amitofo when I'm at home, when I'm on the street. Every time I'm thinking about Amitofo. At night, when I sleep, when I wake up from my dream, I say Amitofo, and then I go back to sleep. So basically, Amitofo is actively involved in my life, and I try to be like that way, in my best way. So in the temple, often when I talk to other people and we greet each other, when we greet, I say Amitofo. But the other side think that I'm just doing it as a joke, and then they just laugh about it. I'm sincerely greeting them, reciting Amitofo, but the other person only recite Amitofo during ceremony. So they think that it's not the normal thing to say Amitofo when we greet each other, other than the ceremony. So is this the wrong way? Am I doing it okay?
Is this at our temples?
He's from JC.
Okay.
But I'm not really sure he's referring to JC, but he's a member of JC.
He's a member of JC. New member or old member?
네, 새로 오신 분이에요.
He's a new
새로
member.
오신 편이에요.
Yeah, I think he's sort of new member.
Okay. New members don't deserve to say Amitabul to us. Okay. I'm just kidding. It's probably a tradition that's not observed at our way places yet in Korea, because reciting the Buddha's name is not really popular in Korea at all. So it takes a while before you get used to it. Okay. Yeah, let me explain to you why we, in the Chinese or the Asian culture, Vietnamese culture, and so forth, at those temples, when we see someone say Amitabha, we don't say hello, Carol, or hey, John, what's up, buddy, we say Amitabha. Okay, it's a great tradition. Okay, those places, the Asian places that we have, not because we think of ourselves as relatives. Okay, but it's because it's a good practice, good practice. So like you, the mindset you have, that you are constantly thinking of Amitabha. So it's a good thing, because it helps your cultivation, it helps reduce false thinking, it helps reduce your afflictions and so forth. There's so many good reasons for you to keep on doing it. Okay. However, when you do that, you also need to be sensitive. you don't want, when you cultivate, you don't want to impose yourself on others, your children, your wife. Just because you know it's the right thing, because you believe it's the right thing, you're convinced it's the right thing, it doesn't mean you should impose it on your wife. Let her make up her own mind. Okay? No. Then the faith is deeper. So that's why you have to be sensitive, including you here in the temple. You don't say Amitabha doesn't bother me, okay? Or you say Amitabha, or you don't. It doesn't bother us at all. It's a good thing for you. The practice is meant for you. But if others don't take it well, then you should back off. Okay, and you remember those people. And don't say Amitabha to them anymore. And that's called cultivation. You're flexible. You don't say Amitabha and expect everyone to accept it, and make it universal, make it a standard practice. Not at all. Okay? Flow with the wind. Yeah? And so that's the first concept I want you to be aware of. Okay? Don't impose yourself on others. It's a good thing for you, but it's not necessarily something that others subscribe to. For example, newcomers. Okay? I myself don't say Amitabha to people at all, because most of them don't get it. Okay, so I don't want to impose myself that, it makes them false think. How come that monk there, he says something in Chinese I don't get at all? Everyone he sees, Amitabha. So you're not helping. You see, my point is that you do it for yourself, not only for yourself, but when you do that, if it affects others, you have to think. Think on your feet. Does it help them? Does it affect them in a good way? If it's not, then don't do it. All right? That's number one. Number two, it's impressive that you keep on thinking of the Buddha's names and so forth. Okay? And that's what many Asians are good at doing, especially old people. They only aspire to go to the Pure Land. So that's the most important thing for me to do the rest of my life. It's what the Asians are taught with this Dhamma door. It's excellent. Okay? I'm hoping that we'll bring it up another notch, where it's not only you're doing that only because you aspire only to be reborn to the Pure Land. That's not what we are about. Okay? It's not enough for us. Yes, we want to go to the Pure Land, but what else do we want? We want to go to Pure Land with a good grade. The best grade possible. Rebirth grade possible. Yes, the other Asians, they want to go to Pure Land. They desperately want to go to Pure Land. I'm removing the desperateness from the equation for you. There's no need to be desperate. Have some class. I do not trust people who are desperate, is my personal opinion. I don't feel I need to be desperate. I want to be sincere, but I don't want to be desperate. Okay? There's a big difference here. The Asians are taught that you need to be desperately seeking for rebirth. I say, no, don't do that. Let them be desperate. Let's have some class. Because if you want, there's a section of Pure Land is for desperate people. It's a very small section. Trust me. The rest of the people in the Pure Land are born there, they have class. They're not desperate at all. Trust me. Trust me. Okay? Cut it out. Yeah. Those are the poor paupers who have no blessings. That's why they say, I do anything to go to the Pure Land. I'm not Amitabha Buddha. If I were Amitabha Buddha, I say, really? I need to take you, desperate person, to my Pure Land? Yeah, I must be desperate myself. You know, just so that you know, I have a lot of people who want to go to my Pure Land, and they have class, and those are the people that I like. You know, desperate people. It's the barrio section. It's the Harlem of the Pure Land. It's very tiny. Okay? Wake up, guys. And no need to be desperate. Yes, you reside in order to be single-minded. But for the way they train you is for you to become desperate in order to become single-minded. To me, it's nonsense. It's demeaning. I would never teach you a Dharma that's so demeaning. That I'm desperate. I'm so desperate to go. My gosh, you're desperate to go because your Dharma door is unlikely to bring you there in the first place. That's why you're taught to be desperate. Does it make sense? So how come none of the Asians get it? There's no class. I don't see Amitabha being that desperate himself to take you in, to take in desperate people. Well, he doesn't discriminate like I do. Okay? I take some desperate people myself because I owe them. But if I don't owe you, seriously? Okay, so you see, I want to stress that if you're taught to be desperate, it's unlikely that you're going to make it to the Pure Land, practicing that Dharma. Okay? So why do you want to recite the Buddha's name at night and while you're awake, when you're meditating, while you're walking, while you're eating, while you're going to the supermarket, while you're driving, okay? It's to become single-minded. Why do you want to become single-minded? Let me teach you about our Dharma. Is in order for you to increase your samadhi in reciting the Buddha's name. What for? So that you have a higher rebirth grade. Personally, I find it embarrassing that you go there and see Amitabha Buddha, and Amitabha Buddha, being very polite, he's going to ask you, hey, welcome. I'm so glad you're here. He doesn't mean it. He's just being American, nice for you. Where are you from? I said, oh, I'm from Master Yonghua's temple. And how did you get here? He taught me to desperately recite your name. I said, oh, that guy. Okay, I put you in a better quarters, you hear? Okay, so I find it personally embarrassing. You go there and you get there because you're desperately reciting the Buddha's name or GuanYin's name. Have some class, folks. Okay, you recite in order to increase your concentration. That's all. Okay, so if you recite it day and night, if it helps you increase your concentration, good. How do you know? You should know when it increases, or your teacher should tell you, or your Dharma brothers, or your abbot, or your vice abbot should be telling you, yeah, oh, you finally improve after 3 years, okay, yeah. After 4 years, and so forth. And then you know you're on the right track, okay? If not, then you have to rethink your Dharma door of reciting the Buddha's name constantly. I hope it helps. Okay, anyone else? No one else? Okay, I guess we go back to the lecture. Okay, so GuanYin Bodhisattva, according to Master Hsuan, is like our relative. Okay, otherwise, why would she seek us out, especially those who cries out to her name, and would come to their rescue. Yes, JC.
제가 궁금한 게 있어 하나 또 질문 드리겠습니다. 요즘 그 여름이라 식사하려고 그러면 밥그릇 주변에 이 파리라든가 하루살이들이 자꾸 달라붙거든요. 이걸 어떻게 잡아가지고 극락을 보내줘야 되는지 아니면 쫓아버려야 되는지 이 상당히 그 망설여질 때가 있습니다. 그렇다고 소독약으로 소독을 해서 다 잡을 수도 없고 이런 경우 어떻게 하는 게 좋을지 좀 설명 좀 해주십시오. 감사합니다.
Hi, Master. I have one more question. So it's summer. So when we eat our meal, I see there are flies, and then small flies flying around. So I'm wondering, should I do something and send them to Pureland? Or should I chase them? Or should I spray insecticides and kill all of them? Is there a suggestion for that, Master? Thank you.
I have no problem with flies, so I can't help you. What I have problems with are ants and mosquitoes. Mosquitoes are for obvious reasons. They bite you and it's very itchy. And ants? Anyone has problems with ants here in Los Angeles? They're everywhere. They are nightmares. You cannot hide from them. Mosquitoes, we have screens, we have all sorts of things, mosquito nets, but ants is no defense against it. And if here in California, in where I live, if you happen to drink like Coke or Pepsi, you sweat is sweet. So the black ants here, you think they don't bite? Like you Vietnamese mistakenly think that black ants don't bite? Those black ants here bite you if your sweat is sweet, like they bite me. So it kind of makes me afflicted. I sit there and also, it's always the wrong places. In the arm. Heidi, she's the first one to laugh. And so, I don't know how to help you with the flies, okay? Because I never had that problem. But what do you suppose I do with the ants when they bite me in the wrong place? I mean, when they bite me. I go like this. And usually I miss because they bite and they run right away, these these darn black ants are so smart. I swear to God that they must have been killed a few times in my house already. Okay, so usually, as we Vietnamese like to say, "Hoa kiếp nó," meaning it's a polite, it's a term that means kill it and send it to the Pureland, like you said. You laughing, but it's not cool for a monk to admit it. And I've been killing ants. Why not? Why though? Because it hurts. And it makes me afflicted, especially when I cultivate, meditate. I try to sit straight. So my point here is that sometimes in your cultivation, you can't help it, okay? So the difference between me and you is that, yeah, I help them, absolutely. So I have no problem going like this, okay, if I don't miss. So I become faster. You see me? So much faster nowadays. Okay, so the point is that I look at it as, yeah, okay, you want to obstruct me, okay, I will give you some rebirth blessings, which, by the way, will help them get out of the ant species a lot faster than otherwise. So you will. It's sort of like, to me personally, it's like according with conditions to help them get a better conditions, if you will. Okay, that's how I handle it. So I can advise you about flies, because I can't officially condone killing animals. I can only speak about my karmas. Okay? All right, I hope it helps. This guy really brings out the worst out of me. Anyone else? Remember, 2 hard questions per night. Okay? Okay, so next slide, 151. Why does he want to? When he just helps. Why does he do that? I have no idea. Okay, he sees living being as the same as his soul. Zhu is not siblings, as his own body. So Zhu is that his own body, not just his own body, but so Zhu is that there are important parts of his body he cannot function without them. Okay? So he sees living beings as the same as his own flesh. That's how I would describe, I would translate it.
It actually means siblings. That's how people say soju.
Really?
Yeah. So you.
Can I change the Chinese custom? His children is the same as gu rou. It's the same as children. Seriously?
It's literal.
Don't you hate it when the Chinese people contradict you about your Chinese? But Taiwanese, I mean.
Yeah, they're the symbolizes siblings and children.
Is that right?
Right.
Okay, let me translate my style. Okay, I don't care what they say. Okay, so Zhu is your own arm and legs. Okay, because I need my arms and legs. That's how I see it. Okay. Can you imagine yourself having no limbs? Life would be miserable. Okay? How about gu rou? Gu rou is your bones and your flesh. Okay, that's your body. Okay, so he sees living beings the same as his limbs and bone and flesh. I translate it like that. I don't care what the Chinese say. Okay, so but it can go either way. Siblings or children, same concept. Okay, the Chinese are very attached to siblings. I don't think it's the case anymore. Is it? I think the Chinese are becoming more Americanized. They don't like siblings anymore. And children, gu rou. Children, that makes sense because your children are made up from your bones and your flesh, sort of. Okay, so he sees living being as his, siblings and his children. Okay. Okay, and for that reason, he's like this. He's not afraid of hardships and difficulties. Instead, comes to save and cross over living beings or suffering in a Saha world. So let's not forget about this Dharma brother of ours. So as Master Shehwan says, if you recite her name, she'll be mindful of you. Okay, so that when you, especially in times of need, you call out her name, she will come and rescue you because she looks at you as her relatives, as her siblings, as her children. Okay? Yes, 8.
Thank you, Master. I just have a question in regards to GuanYin Bodhisattva. Does she only help Buddhists? Because you got to know her name.
Okay, very good. Thank you for bringing it up. Because exactly one of the points I like to bring up, why I disagree with the style of fraternizing with the help. They don't get it. These Asians, what are you going to do? Can't live without them, can't live with them either. That's my problem with this attitude that we are the brothers and Dharma brothers and siblings and children and so forth of GuanYin Bodhisattva. For God's sake, we're not. It's not true. There's no such a thing. Okay? In Buddhism, there's no such a thing. We cannot relegate her to our Dharma brothers and so forth. Okay? Because then it tells us that GuanYin Bodhisattva only helps you who recite her name. That's nonsense. Imagine that she's there, she's amongst you, okay, and you don't even know her, and you're in trouble. You ask her, "Hey, help!" Can you see how it works out in the movies? GuanYin says, "What's my name?" Seriously? See my problem with that kind of thinking? Or she look at her and say, "Do I know you?" This is, to me, is nonsense. Okay, logically, it doesn't make sense, even to an Asian like myself. Okay, with all due respect, I don't think that she's my Dharma brother, or I need to recite her GuanYin Bodhisattva's name in order for her to help me. Okay, she's willing to help anyone who needs help. He only has to say, if she's there, she happens to hear you, says, "Help!" She'll come and help you. Like people out there, okay, who says, "Help, help!" I'm hurt, help! she'll come and help right away. Don't you think? All you need is for her to hear you're asking her for help. That's all it takes. But we have an expedient where we recite her name so that if we call out her name and someone else says help, we probably get help before the other person. That I can buy. Okay? Actually, it's not the case. You help both at the same time, by the way, because she just does not discriminate. So I won't go there, okay? But that's too Americanized. So you see, her job is to help people when they are suffering. It's very important. It's not that they need help, okay? Like this, it says, because we need help. No, she helps living beings because we are suffering. It's called great compassion because as long as we're suffering greatly, she can't take it. That's the bottom line. She says, if you're suffering a lot, it's no different than me suffering. Doesn't matter who you are. You could be Hispanics, you could be Asian, you could be Caucasian. I forget the sign. Catholic. Christian. Okay, and so forth. Nazi and so forth. It's no discrimination. If she realizes that you need help because you're suffering so much, she will help you regardless. Okay? But the key here is that she needs to be aware of it. If she's not aware of it, she's not going to help. So in Buddhism, we taught that there is such a being, such a great being called GuanYin Bodhisattva, whose job all day long, 24/7 is to scan the airwaves and go to the rescue of any being who asks for help by calling her name. But she also helps everyone else as well who don't even ask for her name if she's aware of it. Is that clear? I don't want this to be reduced to, for the Buddhists only and for women only and for men only and so forth. No, it's called great compassion because there's no discrimination at all. Yes, DTT. Yes, DTT. That's what I said.
A Di Đà Phật, thứ nhất là
That's what I said.
con chia sẻ về cái đại bi của Quan Thế Âm. Là Ngài tu đến cái mức đó rồi thì Ngài coi tất cả chúng sanh là thương, rất là thương, không cần phải cầu cứu. Chẳng hạn như hồi năm 76 con ở trong tù, con ngồi thiền thì một cái phút từ lúc đó mình ngồi mình thấy những người tù ngủ xung quanh, mình thương họ, thương một cách cực kỳ luôn. Rồi mình nghĩ bên kia hàng rào là bộ đội nó gác, có gia đình nó bệnh nó gác bên kia cái hàng rào, mình ra là mình chung ra là bắn chết liền. Nhưng mà mình nghĩ họ, mình cũng thương, như là rất là thương, không biết tại sao. Thành ra như vậy là chắc cái này là cái Đức Phật chứng tới cái đại bi này, tức là không có kẻ thù nào hết, rất là thương họ, thật sự trong lòng mình. Bây giờ mình chung ra rào nó bắn chết liền đó, nhưng mà mình vẫn thương. Mà những người tù nằm chung mình vẫn thương. Mà đúng cái trình độ Bồ Tát Quan Âm này thương cỡ nào. Cho nên hồi nãy mình nói là Ngài coi như anh em đó, còn nhẹ đó. Trong kinh Thủ Lăng Nghiêm Tông Muội đó, Đức Phật dạy đó, tu cái kinh này phải coi chúng sanh như là cha mẹ của mình đó. Thứ nhất, ông Khả dịch.
Amitabha, Master, first of all, the great compassion of GuanYin Bodhisattva, he can cultivate to the point that he can see living being, even though they are not asking for help, he can still come and help them, rescue them. I wanted to share one experience when I was in concentration camp. At the moment I was meditating, like about a minute, I saw that there was the prisoner and also the guards from the other side. They are patrolling around, and also if we were to escape from the camp, they will shoot us right away and we can just die right away. But then somehow all of a sudden I have a feeling of sympathy. I love all of them, disregard, and I don't know what happened. I don't know how. So in that way, I felt that the Buddha can certify his compassion all the way to that point, and he does disregard whether they are enemy or not. They still love them just like the level of GuanYin Bodhisattva. They're not only seeing those people as brother and sisters, the siblings, but in the Shurangama Samadhi Sutra, it is said that the practitioner has to see living beings just like their mom and dad.
Cái thứ hai là tại sao mà Quan Thế Âm chỉ giúp cái người Phật tử hay không hay sao? Thì mình đọc mỗi ngày nay mình thấy Ngài hiện 32 ứng hóa thân. Mình đòi cái đứa con nít độ thì Ngài hiện con nít độ, mà mình đòi cái ông Tẩy Quan, ông thủ tướng độ thì Ngài hiện thủ tướng. Bằng chứng là tôi có một bà dì ruột. Con bả mới có 3 tuổi, nó đạp đinh rồi nó bị phong đòn gánh, nó gần chết rồi. Bả nghèo quá, bả không biết làm sao, bả giác đi mà không biết cầu cứu ai. Dưới quê lên quá nghèo. Bả đi ngang nhà thờ Tân Định, nó thấy cái tượng Đức Mẹ. Bả khóc, bả cầu. Mà bà này là không có biết đọc, biết viết tiếng Việt nữa. Vậy mà bà tự động bả cõng thằng nhỏ vô nhà thương đồng đất của Pháp. Thì cái ông bác sĩ Pháp gặp bả thì đem vô cứu chữa đứa nhỏ, rồi nuôi hai mẹ con mấy ngày trong nhà thương, hết bệnh đi về. Thì bà dì ruột tôi bà cảm cái ơn đó, bà về bà theo đạo Thiên Chúa luôn. Thì tôi nghĩ đó hình thức Quan Thế Âm độ bà này qua cái hình thức Đức Mẹ Maya. Nhiều người Công giáo rất là nhiều lần họ có bằng chứng là họ cầu mẹ Deja hoặc mẹ Fatima cũng được vậy. Thì trong kinh nói 32 ứng hóa thân. Bằng chứng thứ hai là năm 1990 tôi cầu Quan Âm có nhiều chuyện tôi cầu hoài không được, cái tôi giận. Ông nhớ dịch đi. Thì năm 1990, 15 năm tôi cầu trong tù, tôi cầu 3 tháng sau tôi được thả, hồi nãy nói ở tù đó. Tôi thấy 5 năm 3 tháng rồi không xử án không gì hết. Thì tôi nguyện xin Quan Âm cho tôi về trong 3 tháng thôi. Còn nếu nghiệp nặng quá không cho thì thôi tôi không xin nữa. Thì đúng 3 tháng sau, tối đó báo mộng cho tôi ngày mai tôi được thả, và tôi biết tôi là cái người thứ mấy kêu đứng lên để được thả nữa. Đó là nãy hỏi cái ông hỏi mà tù cấm xiềng xích mà Niệm Quan Âm được thả đó. Rồi thứ ba nữa là Ngài rất là từ bi. Ngài, tôi giận Ngài, tôi nói Ngài không giúp con không cầu Ngài nữa. Ngài đâu ở bên biển Nam Hải, Phổ Đà Sơn ở đâu con không có biết. Bây giờ con cầu mấy hòa thượng như thế gian này cho dễ cầu. Thì đêm đó tôi thấy hòa thượng dạy tôi hãy nghiên cứu vào tu kinh Bát Nhã, đừng có hỏi nữa. Thì sao tôi mới ngộ ra cái ông hòa thượng đó dạy tu kinh Bát Nhã đó là cái công thức tu để thành Phật. 3 đời chư Phật nhờ theo cái Bát Nhã Ba La Mật này mà thành Phật. Ngài không có giúp nữa mà biểu tôi tự học đi, tự tu đi, đừng có hỏi nữa. Thì rõ ràng là Ngài thị hiện một hòa thượng độ tại tôi muốn hòa thượng. Thì rõ ràng là 32 ứng hóa thân chứ còn cái gì nữa. Tôi xin hết. Dạ cái ông hòa thượng đó đã chết rồi. Ở đâu mà hiện lên mà dạy tôi trong giấc mơ. Biểu học kinh Bát Nhã đi, làm đi, đừng có hỏi nữa.
Second thing is why GuanYin Bodhisattva helped only Buddhist disciple. Disregard whether or not, you should know that GuanYin Bodhisattva has studied to responsive transformation body. If you want children to appear to cross over you, he will appear as a child to help you and cross over you. If you need a general, he will appear as a general to cross over you. I have an aunt. My niece, an aunt, has a child around 3 years old, and he got tetanus. And we thought that he's gonna die, but she carried him to cross a church, and then in front of the church there was a statue of Mother Maria. So in Tăng Định, so she kneeled down and she cried and asked for help. And all of a sudden, this lady doesn't know how to read and how to write in Vietnamese, but all of a sudden she goes straight to the French hospital, and there was the French doctor help her and help resuscitate the kid and allow her to stay for several days so that the kid can recover. And so since that day, because of that grace, she comes to believe in Catholics. Therefore, GuanYin Bodhisattva not just appear as a Bodhisattva, he can also appear as the form of the Mother Maria or Fatima to help others. That's also the case. In 1990s, 15 years after I was in the concentration camp, around 5 years and 3 months, I felt that my case was not moving forward. So I was asking her if she can help me within 3 months so that I can be released from the prison. If not, then I would not I would not ask for help anymore. That night I had a dream, and I was told exactly when I was released and on what number that I will be released. Just like the guy is talking about, when you are in fetter and shackle, recite her name, she will help you and release you, give you the release. And the third thing, my response with her, she's very compassionate. Even though in the moment that I feel very angry at her, and I say that enough is enough, I'm not going to pray to you anymore because you're in Nan Hai, too far away from me. I want a monk to teach me. So then at night, I dreamed of a monk who came and tell me to investigate Prajna Paramita Sutra and stop asking for help. And so I don't know that monk, so forth. But then later on, I found out that he is the person who passed away already. But then he appeared in my dream to teach me. So clearly, this is one of the 32 responsive transformation of GuanYin Bodhisattva.
Impressive. Thank you. Thank you very much for sharing with us your experiences. All right. Believe, okay? It's this. Don't forget about this Dharma brother of ours, Master Shenhua says. We inside our world, the moment we say GuanYin Pusa and Visa is also mindful of us. Okay? It's true in a way that when you recite her name here at the temple, yes, she becomes aware of you. It's true. Okay. Each call makes GuanYin Bodhisattva. Within its call arises the meaning of elder brother. If you like to think that way, it's okay too. She won't mind. In return, GuanYin Bodhisattva makes a call out to us. His future Buddha, this time younger brother, he makes a call out to us. I don't know why would she make a call. She would call to us. 教我们医生我们是为了这个 Why would she call us? Why? What do you think she means here? You Chinese people. I defer to Chinese-speaking people now. What does it mean here? DTT.
맞서 제가 이 질문을 드리는 거는 제 사고의 한계점 때문이라고 생각을 하고요. 네, 한번 끊을게요.
Master, I'm asking this question because I think there's a limitation on my thought.
일단은 이제 뭐 기본적인 제 성향도 있겠지만 첫 번째 제가 의문이 갖고 있는 거는 관세음보살을 모르고 관세음보살 명호를 부르지 않는 사람도 분별하지 않고 똑같이 도와준다면 우리가 힘들게 스케줄을 따라서 관세음보살 명호를 부르고 이 보문품을 하는 사람과 어떤 차이가 있을까요? 네.
So, Master, basically, basically, I'm asking this question maybe due to my personality or character. So, you said GuanYin Bodhisattva will help the people who doesn't recognize her name. Call for help, then she'll go help them without discrimination. So why are we spending our time making a schedule and reciting Universal Dharma chapters? What are we doing here? Thank you.
그리고 두 번째 질문은
Thank you.
아니 세컨 퀘스천이 또 있어요. 네, 맞아. 세컨 퀘스천은 네. 제가 이거는 사실은 제가 매달 3,000배를 매달 했더니 너무 힘들더라고요. 그래서 제가 수행을 결심하게 됐던 이유가 이렇게 기도하고 구하기 싫어서 저는 수행을 결심한 거였거든요. 네.
So, second question. Honestly, I used to bow 3,000 times per month. So I started to do cultivation because I don't want to do pray and I don't want to do any seeking.
그러니까 관세음보살 누군지 모르는데 자꾸 이렇게 달라 저거 달라 하는 게 좀 거제가 구걸하는 것 같았거든요. 저는 그 당시. 그러니까 저는 들리세요? 들리세요? 네. 그러니까 잘 모르잖아요, 관세음보살님을. 근데 막 이거 달라 저거 달라 뭐 계속 도와달라 뭐 하는 게 약간 거제가 구걸한다는 생각이 들었어요. 그 당시에 저는.
So at the time, I thought I don't know GuanYin Bodhisattva that well, but I'm just asking for help as a beggar, almost like a beggar. Help this, help that, almost like a beggar.
그래서 마석께서 어저께 우리들이 매일 하는 종지 첫 번째가 반연하지 말라는 건데 이렇게 달라고 구하는 게 반연하는 거와 뭐가 다른 건지 사실 이 두 가지 질문이 계속 있었어요.
So yesterday you mentioned about principles and then especially for no scheming. So between scheming and seeking, what is the difference? Thank you.
Where do I begin? What are we doing here the last few days? I have no idea. And yes, number 5. You have words of wisdom for her?
I'll give my answer in my own words. So we're here to worship GuanYin and to end our suffering because I am suffering. So that's why I'm here.
Okay, yeah. Go ahead, answer him. Jumi, go ahead, answer him. You guys carry a conversation.
말콤 대답해서 고맙고요. 약간 당신하고 나는 좀 성향이 다른 것 같아요.
Malcolm, Thank you for your answer, but I think that we are different in character. In character.
그리고 제가
Be
어저께
specific.
대답했던 거
How different are you in
위에서
character?
시도한-
How different are you?
당신 굉장히 이렇게 말콤 굉장히 좋은 사람이고요. 저는 좀 까다롭고 피곤한 사람이라고 생각해요.
I'm aged at least 5 years.
Malcolm, I think you are a good person, but I think
And you not?
저는 좀 까다롭고 피곤한 스타일이라고 생각해요.
I think I'm really picky and then make others tired.
No, never. 8.
And Sumi, and why do you be there in the DTT for the GuanYin Qi?
No, she ran away from the husband. Okay. And what is the second question?
우리가 기도를 하는 게 반연하는 거와 뭐가 차이가 있는지였고요. 네, 일단 한번 끊을게요.
So when we pray, how is it different from scheming? We're seeking. So her question was, what is the difference between scheming and seeking?
그리고 어저께 제가 얘기했던 게 우리가 유의에서 무의로 가는 방법 중에 하나가 제가 반연하지 않는 거라고 대답을 했는데 조금 그렇고요. 네.
And yesterday I answered about how become conditioned to unconditioned.
No, yesterday doesn't count anymore. You are amazing because you're getting so many people involved here. I'm so impressed. Go ahead, number 2, answer her.
Amitabha Master.
Thank you.
Okay. I think the difference between scheming and seeking is that when you scheme, you hope that the ego gets the reward. And when you seek, you follow directions no matter what happens.
Sounds good. Master XC, do you have any instructions, any answer for Jumi right there, who's right behind you? Jumi right there, right behind you.
A Di Đà Phật, cái câu trước là mưu cầu nó khác với cái cầu nguyện. Cầu nguyện tức là như mình xin người cha mình, người mẹ mình cần cái gì đó mình cầu xin người cha người mẹ. Thì ở trong kinh Phổ Môn Đức Phật dạy mình là thường niệm cung kính Quan Thế Âm Bồ Tát. Mình sân, tham, sân si. Bây giờ thường niệm cung kính Quan Thế Âm Bồ Tát thì 3 cái đó nó tiêu. Trong nãy quý vị đọc cái tại chữ Tàu đọc nhanh quý vị không nghe. Tôi tụng cái này mấy chục năm rồi. Cái người tư tưởng mình nó chỉ nó rất là nhiều mà chỉ 3 cái thằng đó thôi. Tham, không được thì sân, rồi si. Chẳng hạn nó giết người, được giết 1000 người được thành Phật kia đó, cái gọi là si, tức làm tầm bậy, trái nhân quả. Thì cái người đó nó biết được thượng tri thức dạy dỗ. Thì Đức Phật dạy hồi nãy mình đọc đó, thường niệm cung kính Quan Thế Âm Bồ Tát thì mấy cái đó nó tiêu. Đó là lý do mình tạo cái thất này đó. Thứ hai, nãy mình đọc có cái đoạn, thí dụ có một người suốt cả đời họ cúng dường y phục, thuốc men, nhà cửa cho một vị tăng đó suốt đời luôn. Mà có một người khác niệm Nam Mô Quan Bồ Tát thì cái phước người sau nó hơn với người trước. Do đó mà lý do mình có cái thất hôm nay đó, cái thất Bồ Quán Âm này nè. Cho nên quý vị thấy tối nay mình sẽ có câu là đảnh lễ chủ thất một lại. Rồi cái phước này do Thầy Vĩnh Hóa đem tới cho quý vị. Cả ngày nay thì tối nay hồi hướng có câu đảnh lễ chủ thất một bái. Ở đâu có cái phước này, do Thầy Tiên Vĩnh Hóa mua cái nhà thờ này, cơm nước ăn uống, máy lạnh, máy mát, máy nóng. cho mình học, mình tu để chi mình hưởng cái phước này nè. Ngày nay mình tạo biết bao nhiêu phước. Và Quan Thế Âm Hòa Thượng Nhân Hóa dạy tôi có cái nghi, tại sao không niệm A Di Đà mà niệm Quan Thế Âm? Thì Hòa Thượng Nhân Hóa gỡ đúng cái chỗ này là Quan Thế Âm là cái job của Ngài, Ngài giúp, nhưng mà Ngài cũng là phó của A Di Đà Phật. Quý vị chết cũng giảng sanh. Cho nên mình phải quẹo một câu là Ngài giúp con mà con niệm Ngài, chứ mà cuối đời con cũng thân an niệm chánh, xin Ngài đem con về chánh. Thì mình cũng noi gương Ngài, mình giúp đỡ người ta. Như nãy Thầy nói đó, phải cái phẩm vị cao, phải giúp đỡ người ta tạo phước. Cho nên cái phẩm hormone này đó, quý vị thấy ở California này có 33 triệu dân số. Bây giờ bao nhiêu người được tạo mấy cái phẩm phẩm này trong mấy ngày nay? Quý đâu có tới 300 người đâu. 300 người trong 300 triệu, 30 triệu dân của California này. Chị thấy bây giờ có phước không? Trên cái miệng mình phát ra niệm Nam Mô Quan Thế Âm Bồ Tát là mình manifest không biết bao nhiêu phước báo cho mình. Tội diệt phước sanh. Thì quý vị mấy ngày nay tu, quý vị thấy phải cảm ơn cái phước đó. Mà cái phước ở đâu? Do ông chủ thất đem tới cho mình. Cho nên tối nay về giấy một câu là đảnh lễ chủ thất quên một tam bái đó. Là lý do như vậy đó. Xin hết. Còn cầu với mua cầu, cầu nguyện là mình xin cha, xin mẹ, mình xin Quan Âm giúp mình trong cái khổ. Mình làm không nổi mình xin. Còn mua cầu là thấy người ta giàu lại lân la mà kiếm chác, ấp phe, nịnh bớt để mà lấy của người ta. Cái đó là mua cầu là xấu. Còn mình khổ, mình xin Phật, xin Bồ Tát, cái đó là mình đúng. Cũng như đạo Thiên Chúa, người ta khổ, người ta cầu Chúa Trời, gặp Chúa Mẹ giúp. Đâu có gì xấu đâu. Còn thấy người ta giàu lại lân la, mánh mung để mà cầu xin. Cho nên mình có cái câu đói chết không han duyên đó, nghèo chết không quá duyên đó. Mấy cái điều của mình đó, mấy cái đó đó. Xin hết.
So the seeking is different from the scheming. Seeking is that when you are you're asking for your mom and dad for a favor, just like the Universal Door chapter saying, constantly recite with respectful mind. So we ourselves have greed, hatred, and stupidity. If you can constantly recite with your utmost grateful, utmost respectful mind to GuanYin Bodhisattva, because the sutra is in Chinese. Maybe some of you might not understand, but I have been reading this sutra for 30 years already. In all of our thoughts, there's three things. It always goes down to three things. It's greed, hatred, and stupidity. So sometimes for the stupid people, we want to kill a lot of people, and we ask to become a Buddha. That is stupidity. So then when you constantly recite GuanYin Bodhisattva with respectful mind, this is why we wanted to recite and read a Universal Door chapter. And also, there is, in the sutra, there's an example that if you are a person, you make all four kinds of offering to a monk or to a person, to the entire of your life, the blessing that you generate is so far less than the person who just reciting GuanYin Bodhisattva name. And so at the end of the, when you do the transference, you will see that we going to bow to the Dharma host of the Qi, the host of the Qi. This, so that because of this blessing you generate is coming from the host of the Qi, which is masteryonghua, right here. Every night, if we don't have this type of environment, he actually help us with food. And you are sitting under AC right now, and you have a place to cultivate. Master Xuanhua also teach me, I have one doubt, and somehow he resolved it for me, is that why do we recite Amitabha Buddha or GuanYin Bodhisattva name, you recite GuanYin Bodhisattva name is also help you to rebirth to the Pure Land as well. And therefore, we hope that at the end of our life, our body will be at peace and we have the proper mindfulness so that we can, just like Master say, rebirth with the highest grade. In California, we have 33 million people, but how many people that are able to come to this Dharma assembly and participate in GuanYin Qi like us? Less than 300 people. So you know that you are very rare and you create a lot of blessing right now. The blessing manifests in a way that you can eradicate a lot of your offenses and also bring forth a lot of blessing for yourself. So therefore, where does that blessing come from? It's come from the Dharma host of this assembly as well. So therefore, at the end of the Qi, you bow to him once or 3 times. That's all. And again, back to seeking and scheming. Sometime when we are in desperation, we're gonna have to ask for help. And if you have enough, if for the scheming, it's like you have a rich person and you want to have an affair with them. You're scheming something from those rich people. That is about scheming. But if you are suffering, you ask for help. You seek for help. That is the right thing to do. Not only in Buddhism, but also in Catholicism, in Christianity. When you suffer, you ask for help. That is not a bad thing at all. And that's all about the scheming and about the seeking.
Very good question, and better answers from all of you. Thank you so much. I just want to make a small correction. It's not 33 people, it's 66 people. I just counted, yeah. Huh? Sarah has something to say.
Master, actually, Jumi asked not about scheming versus seeking. She says, what we learn from the principle is no scheming. Mm-hmm. However, we're seeking, we're praying, we're asking for GuanYin, for help. So she's asking the difference. I mean, there's some contradicting meaning between those.
Yeah, but where?
She wants to know that.
Yeah, where is no scheming in 7 principles? Think about that. Yes, 5.
From YouTube,
it's perfectly okay to scheme.
From Tui, Amitabha Master, when GuanYin helps save us from suffering, where does the karma go? For example, if someone is in chains and enslaved because they created that karma in their past life and are saved by GuanYin, then where does the karma go?
It depends on what she has in mind, okay? She could say, I will suspend it for now. You're supposed to suffer, but I will defer it for you. That's one possibility. Another possibility is if she looks at you like her brother, like Master Shehua says here, she might erase it. So if she says, you call for help, she says, what's my name? And she says, she said, okay, she would suspend it. But if she says, GuanYin Bodhisattva, and of course it's erased. So today's session is very helpful, guys. I hope it helps. Anyone else? Okay. So going back to slide 157, so it's little brother, younger brother here, whatever. And so he says, when you recite her, she also recites us. That's all it means. Yes, too.
Thank you, Master. Just for this translation, I think the translation is supposed to be, makes a call out to us. And then this is something that GuanXin is saying. This future Bodhisattva, the future Buddha, this younger brother, making calling out people.
Calling out people? Who's calling out people?
Because we're calling GuanXin Bodhisattva as our older brother, so that's why she's calling us as the
younger brother.
Little brother.
It's like she says, GuanYin Bodhisattva. You know, this woman here calls it GuanYin Bodhisattva all morning. And can you see GuanYin Bodhisattva? He says, woman. All day. I mean, I can't help but that image in my mind. Seriously? I respectfully, you know, I think it does nothing for me. I know you like the sound of it. You know, you Taiwanese people say, yeah, GuanYin Pusa, when we say, oh yeah, you there. You there.
I don't think he meant it literally.
Now I'm confused. Does she mean what she says? Okay.
It's not really, yeah.
Okay. But this is my limitation. I'm very naive. When a great master tells me I call out GuanYin when he calls out my name as well in return, I believe it. I shouldn't?
He's saying that he's calling out and then inside just related as that so that people will understand.
I hope he stops confusing me like this because I'm confused. Does she call my name or not? Should I come tomorrow and recite her name with you? So I say, Yunghua. That'd be so cool. Yes, DT. Gosh. Yes, DT. Gosh.
A Di Đà Phật. Cái niệm danh hiệu Bồ Tát Quan Âm hoặc là niệm Phật đó, cái ý nghĩa là mình tạo cái phước báo không nói gì, nhưng mà phía sau đó tạo cho mình có cái định lực. Thì ví dụ bây giờ Hòa Thượng Tuyên Hóa nói Phật là gì? Phật là khi tư tưởng chưa có sanh ra đó, cái đầu mình để trống lỏng chưa có sanh tư tưởng nào đó. Thì Phật là cái đó, từ nhìn trong đầu mình mới biết. Mà mình chúng sanh không có lâu, chút xíu là nó lên cái khác. Nhiều người bị depression luôn, điên luôn. Mình không ngừng được. Mà Hòa Thượng Tuyên Hóa định nghĩa Phật là gì? Phật là khi tư tưởng quý vị chưa có sanh ra. Thì Ngài Hà Trạch đó là kế thừa Ngài Bên Năng, Ngài suốt đời Ngài chỉ một cái tông chỉ thôi, không nghĩ một vật gì hết, là cái Như Lai là tâm Phật của quý vị đó. Định nghĩa cái tâm Phật, cái Như Lai là cái tánh biết của mình đó. Khi mình không nghĩ cái gì hết, cái moment đó mình quan sát coi. Thầy Vĩnh Hóa nói quý vị nhìn vô trong đó, quan sát trong cái đầu mình lúc đó coi. Thì tôi bời bằng chứng tôi chỉ quý vị thấy nè. Mình niệm Nam Mô A Di Tổ, tổ cái phò chưa có sanh, tổ nó hết rồi. Thì khoảng thời gian mà từ tổ đến phò đó, quý chưa có nghĩ gì hết á, thì phải giống cái Hòa Thượng Tuyên Hóa định nghĩa không? Rồi thứ hai là cái Ngài Phật Thất, cái Quan Âm Thất ở bên chùa GMT đó, bữa đó cô Hiền Ân cổ làm quay nô. Thì đánh chuông rất nhanh, là rất là nhanh, rồi cái bum ngưng lại hết. Thì lúc đó cái tư tưởng tôi nó dừng lại cũng 5 phút như vậy, không có cái gì sanh ra hết, cái đầu trống lỏng. Thì mục đích mình niệm là cái đó để tạo mấy tổ chế ra để mà mình tạo cái định lực. Thì mình thấy rõ ràng đó, bữa đó cô Hiền Ân tôi nhớ là 3 giờ chiều. Cái ngày đầu tiên của Quan Âm Thất, cái A Di Đà Phật gì đó, bữa 26 tây đó. Cái bum nó ngừng lại. Thì cái đầu tôi nó trống hơn 5 phút đó. Cô Hiền Ân đó, cô bên chùa GMT. Thì các tổ soạn cái đó để cho mình, họ cố tình họ làm như vậy để cho mình định lực và mình thấy được cái trống cái đầu mình đó. Giống cái định nghĩa của Ngài Hà Trạch và Ngài Tuyên Hóa giảng đó. Khi tư tưởng chưa sanh đó, mình có mà mình không biết. Ở quê Mâu Tinh lần cô Nhẫn làm quay nô tôi cũng được như vậy đó. Nam Mô A Di Tổ, cái mình ngừng. Cái phò nó chưa sanh. Thì cái khoảng trống đó quý vị quan sát coi nó là cái gì? Nó đâu có giận hờn tham sân si gì đâu. Đâu có ta có người cái gì đâu. Trống lỏng à. Mà mình đâu có chết, mình biết hết á. Mình trống lỏng à. Thành ra chư tổ soạn cái đó là một cái cố ý để cho dạy mình, để mình tập cái định tâm, định lực á. Thành ra lâu giờ lâu lâu tôi ngồi tôi tập tôi tò cái tôi ngừng tôi nhìn cái trống đó đó. Người mình rất là an lạc. Xin hết.
Amitabha. So speaking about reciting
một cái kinh nghiệm nữa là
reciting
một cái kinh nghiệm nữa là cái ngày Thanksgiving năm 2008 á, tôi tham dự cái Phật thất ở Sacramento. Cũng đi kinh hành Nam Mô A Di Đà Phật vậy đó. Thì tới 3 giờ chiều tự động cái tâm tôi nó ngừng lại 3 ngày 3 đêm như vậy á. Thì trong kinh hồi nãy nói đó, hoặc nhất nhật, nhị nhật, tam nhật, tứ nhật, thất nhật mà nhất tâm bất loạn đó. Tôi không có biết, tự nhiên động nó vô như vậy thôi. Mừng quá chạy lên hỏi ông thầy thì không biết ổng đang có khách. Thì về mình nghiên cứu, trong kinh nói là nghe danh hiệu Phật Di Đà, chấp trì danh hiệu hoặc nhất nhật, thất nhật. Tôi đâu có biết đâu, tự nhiên tới 3 giờ chiều đang đi như vậy. Nó ngừng lại hết. Mà lên xe mấy bà đó tôi quá gian cưỡi cãi nhau rồi lên xe tôi tỉnh bơ à. Cái tâm nó không có khởi lên. Mà nó kéo 3 ngày 3 đêm như vậy. Thành ra kinh Di Đà là có thật chứ không phải là người xuyên tạc là do người Tàu đặt ra. Kinh Đại Thừa là người Tàu đặt ra, không có. Làm sao người Tàu biết mà niệm như vậy mà nó ngưng vậy. Mà tôi cũng đâu có biết đâu. Cái ngày Thanksgiving năm 2008 á, nó ngừng 3 ngày 3 đêm như vậy. Xin hết.
Amitabha, speaking about reciting the Buddha names or GuanYin Bodhisattva name, the meaning not only just reciting, creating the blessing for you, but also there's underlying meaning behind that. Reciting the name is also to hone your samadhi, your concentration. Venerable Master Shenhua say, teach us what is the Buddha. What does the Buddha mean? It is when your mind, the moment your mind does not give rise to a thought, that is the Buddha. But we ourselves cannot uphold that state for long. That's why a lot of people have depression and crazy mind, manic, and they have that thought continue all the way to become crazy. So the Buddha is when the mind does not give rise to a thought, when the moment the thought does not appear. So just like Venerable Hachat, under following with Master Hui Neng lineage, he said that when your mind does not think of anything, that is the definition of thus come one. So Master tell you to look inside. That's why Master Shenhua tell you to observe what is inside of you. So I also have a proof when I recite. When I recite the Buddha name Amitabha. When I recite Amitabha. So between the Tha and the Pho, that is where the thought have not produced yet. So there is a space, empty space between the Tha and the Pho. It's like Master Shenhua definition of emptiness. That's when the Buddha, that is your Buddha mind. Second is Namo. When I was in second day of GuanYin Qi, last time at JMT, when Venerable Xin En was hitting drum and bell, and she hit it very fast, and then there is, at that time, she hit the bell, the big bell come out, and all of my thought ceased, stopped, and at that point, there's nothing produced. So that is why I feel that the purpose of the patriarch creating this experience is for us to help us increase our concentration. So also, one time that Venerable Shinran is hitting the trumpet bell, and between the tall and the fall, at that time, there's nothing appear between the word tall and the fall. So my mind become empty, but then I recognize everything happening around. And therefore, I feel that Patriarch composed all of this tool, all of this Qi to help us increase our concentration. So I also follow that path from time to time between the tall and the fall. I'm focusing on that empty space. I feel my body very peace and bliss. And I wanted to share another experience. During Thanksgiving 2008, I participated in the Buddha recitation retreat in Sacramento when I was in walking and reciting the Buddha name. All of a sudden, my mind stopped. And then I was in that state for 3 days and nights. And just like in Amitabha Sutra say, those who recite the Buddha name, upholding his name, whether 1 day, 2 day, or 3 day. So at that time, my mind stopped, and I was, during the time that I go home on the bus, I hear people were chit-chatting, talking to each other, but then my mind feels very peaceful. There's nothing inside. So therefore, it is the proof that Amitabha Sutra is not created just from Chinese. They don't create that, because I myself experienced that state 3 days and night that the mind stopped, and that's all.
Okay, time is up. Let me make a comment. Thank you all for your inputs. It makes it very interesting to see where you're coming from. Let me make a comment about the old abbot's comment about masteryonghua saying that the Buddha is no mind. I think it pertains to the example of that we read online, that I read some times ago, where Heng Shi, one of his disciples, asked masteryonghua, "What's Buddha?" And he says, "Buddha is no mind." Okay. And it helped. It seems to help that guy, because later he did certify to having no mind. But it doesn't mean he's a Buddha. I'm reminding him as well. Okay? It's wrong to assume that you have no thought, meaning you're a Buddha. This guy, particular guy here, is very far from Buddhahood, as it stands right now. Or it stands back then as well. So I'm correcting my teacher's statement to him for my teacher's sake. He may have helped him back then, but he's no Buddha. In fact, to have no mind is not a Buddha either. Okay, from a Chan world, is not a Buddha just because you have no mind. That's incorrect. And it's misleading. I know I understand what he's talking about, but only he and I understand what he's talking about. None of you understand what he's talking about. So therefore, to speak like that doesn't help any of you. That's why I stand that I disagree with him about having no mind is to be a Buddha. It's a Buddha state. I said, not from my perspective. It's very far from a Buddha state. Yes, DTT. Yes, DTT. Why do I have an echo now? Why do I have an echo? Is it a technical difficulty or is it a technical difficulty?
Yeah, we'll need to troubleshoot it, but I'm guessing it's probably the gain of the microphones that are out in the audience that we'll need to adjust.
Okay. It didn't happen last night. How come it's happening now? Okay. Anyway, was there a... yes, DTT. Go ahead, DTT. Yes, DTT. Go ahead, DTT.
제가 처음에 말씀드렸듯이 제가 일단 자비심이 많이 부족하고 아직도 계속 계산하는 마음, 거래하는 마음으로 접근하기 때문에 제가 이런 마음속에 퀘스천이 있다고 생각하고요. 네.
I think I have these questions because I'm lack of compassion, and also I still have everything I approach as a scheming.
You seem to be overly obsessed with scheming. I told you where's scheming and the 7 principles. Think about it. Good night.